Once again, Word on the Street with Sam Rock and Sean Tay Betts and Greg B.
Yep.
We're here.
Well, Shantae, I want people to listen to the story because nobody can tell your story like you can tell it.
Exactly.
What happened on Hammond Street and a shootout over there involving your son. So people need to know what happened. Hear your side of the story.
Hi, my name is Shantae Betts. I'm the mother of Jahir Jones, and I just wanted to speak out about my son. The first part I want to really talk about is the police department. On December the 2nd, I arrived home, and when I got home, it was officers and detectives waiting for me. The first thing that I was told was that my son, they was looking for my son and my vehicle because it was involved in a shooting accident. So they got my son. I told my son go to the station, tell them everything it is that they needed to know to clear him. But what got me, because the man told me out his mouth that he knew that my son didn't shoot nobody because of the position of my truck and the way my truck was sitting, that my son couldn't been a shooter, but he know my son was driving.
Wow.
Okay, so I told him to take my son, and I told him in the process of him taking my son that we obtained driver's license to drive on the highway, and we pay taxes to ride on these highways. So if you're questioning my son's driving, then what he was required to do by the state of North Carolina in law was given. You have the right to drive on any highway, any street, any road that you wish to in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Where the problem come in is that nobody has the right to shoot at you while you're traveling along these highways. I get to the police station, and once I get there, they have my son in the room, and my son was like, well, Mom, I don't want to talk because the man that I was in the car with was like, well, I'm Detective so-and-so, and I'm the new chief in charge, and in case you don't know, and if you don't know me, by the time all this is over with, you will know me. So he was like, Mom, I didn't feel comfortable with talking to the man, so I agreed, so we didn't. So he take my son down because my son asked for a lawyer. So I'm sitting outside in the hallway with a bulb, a camera, and the man takes a piece of paper and he said, well, this is what your son gonna be charged with. So I looked at the paper, and the paper already got murder on it. So I said, oh, let me stop you, because when you came to my house, and where's your body camera? Like, I keep asking for the body camera. Like, when you doing a murder investigation and you come out and it's a lot of police and a lot of you're required to have your camera on so you can record everything that you're doing in the presence when it comes to the person's house, if you find evidence and so forth. You're supposed to have this camera on.
True.
So we're sitting outside, and he take the paper and hand it to me. I said, murder. I said, I said, sir, my son ain't killed nobody. I said, you just left my house and told me that you was picking my son up because you knew my son was the driver. Now, how do you turn driving into murder? I said, well, what I can do for you is I can go out here and find out who shot from my truck. And if we work together, which I've been saying in the beginning, if we work together, we can help each other out and find out the issues and the cause of what may have happened to this little boy. Okay, so the man, when he handed me the paper, I take the paper and throw it on the floor, because now I'm questioning, how do you already have your paperwork together? Like, you have my son picture in the block, and it says murder. And how is that piece of paper already together? And how is that paper already formatted when you haven't done an investigation thorough? You haven't done a full questioning. You haven't gathered your witnesses. Like, you don't have anything to put him as the murderer, and that's not what you said. That's why I keep asking for your body cam. And then I want to go back to this piece of paper.
What kind of paper is that? What is it actually?
This is supposed to be the paper to the search warrant to my house. And when you obtain this piece of paper, you're supposed to take it to the magistrate, and they supposed to sign off on it. But when they print this piece of paper, all of it's supposed to be true. Okay, from top to bottom, every page is a lie.
So what exactly does it say that's not the truth?
the first problem that I have with this, it says, can I read it?
Sure.
Sure.
It says on November the 21st, 2020, the Rocky Mount Police Department responded to the homicide investigation. Upon arriving to the location, the victim, who was identified as, we're not gonna go into all that, but it says that,
No name.
right, that the unit began to investigate the homicide. During the investigation, it was found that it was an ongoing dispute between two subjects, which Issa Jihad and Jahir Jones. And I want to say I'm fighting for Issa Jihad too, because within this going on, I called and I made a phone call and I asked who was in my truck and who was shooting out my vehicle, that this might occur injury to this little boy. And it's a Jihad, my son's true friends, because many friends, ain't nobody gonna come up and, you know, in defense of you, but he came to the defense and he turned himself in within an hour to an hour and 30 minutes and told Rocky Mount Police Department that it was in self-defense, and he tried to let them know about my son, but the police department never wants to hear the truth.
So you telling me Jahid, that's the name?
It's a Jihad.
Jahad took responsibility and said he done this, and the police said, nah, we need 2 black guys locked up. Basically what they said, we need to get 2 for 1.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow, man.
He walked in there with a confession. And to tell you the truth, I say free him, because at the end of the day, nobody has the right to shoot at you. Nobody has the right to take your life. And what, I don't know if people know, but my truck was shot up from front to back. It's to sustain a bullet hole through the front windshield. They shot through my driver's side door, and they shot my back windshield out.
So I'm not cutting you off, so I'm gonna let you go ahead. Do North Carolina got the law to stand your ground?
Yes,
You
they
know?
do.
They got it.
Yes,
So it look
stand
like
your
this.
ground.
This is like what Judge Simon did in Trayvon Martin, walked away with, but people are standing their own ground.
But when I asked, was it a stand your ground right? And I've read the stand, I've Googled it, I've wrote it down, I've went to the lawyer, I've went to everybody. The stand your ground law states that nobody has the right to shoot into your home, into your vehicle, into your property without you defending yourself. That is the stand your ground law
In North Carolina?
in North Carolina.
Wow.
In North Carolina.
Whoa.
In North Carolina.
Go ahead, sis.
Okay, it said according to the witnesses, the ongoing incident was over an incident which involved the person accidentally shooting his younger brother. Now, to me, this is a problem with the police department, because when it comes to my home and my family, we didn't know that this little boy killed his brother 30 days prior to this. So that wasn't our business, and I don't understand why would he try to tie two brothers into being killed over the incident of what happened with this little boy and his own brother. This is not true.
That don't have nothing to do with it.
Right, it doesn't have
Why
anything
would
to.
you? Go ahead, sis.
Why would my son care? Not to be harsh, or not to sound like, but we don't even know these people. Why would my son care if this little boy accidentally, because this ain't what I said, this is what the police department said. See, people mad at me, but you're not mad at the police that said this, because this is how this came out. The Rocky Mount Police Department said that this little boy killed his brother 30 days into this, and the reason why the last one was killed was because it's supposed to have been an argument between my son and his friend with this young man over him killing his brother. What does that have to do with this?
Don't have nothing to do. It smell like bullshit.
What does this have to do with this? But this is how you got the warrant to come search my house.
Black and white people. It's in black and white. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. They said at this point, gunshots were fired between the Nissan Pathfinder and the yard. It says one of the rounds from the Nissan Pathfinder is to believe they shot the little boy. Okay, I understand that, and I'm a parent myself. But what you have to realize is that this little boy wasn't home alone. His yard was occupied by the same friends, probably the same little boys of why the first one was lost. Okay, so here you go, you done lost a child 30 days prior. This another little boy who has got injured. Now. And it says that the shots came from the Nissan Pathfinder, but the Nissan Pathfinder was shot up too. So the shots initially was fired to the Nissan Pathfinder. That's why shots was returned from the Nissan Pathfinder, which goes back to the stand your ground law. Nobody has to right to shoot into your home, your vehicle, your property, anything that is obtained and that is to you.
Well, I'm not sure. Hold up, sister. I'm just telling the people, the viewers that's looking at this, and if my car gets shot at, and I got my pistol, I'm shooting back. I'm gonna tell you that right now. What
That's
you think about
most
it,
people.
Greg,
That's most people.
being in the military?
Most people, you shoot at me, I'm gonna shoot back.
So by you
And
being
that's just human nature.
by you being in the military and the enemy is shooting at you with the military till you just
gotta
drive
shoot
off.
to kill. It ain't no rap. You gonna shoot to kill. If they shoot at me, I'm shooting back. Period.
Okay.
And that's the main reason why they issue permit to carry in the state of North Carolina, so you can defend yourself.
And I was so disturbed by this news that I went to Rocky Mount Magistrate Office on Cokie Road, and I just went up to an officer. And I said, officer, can I ask you a question? I said, if you roll past a house and somebody starts shooting at you, I said, aren't you going to get out your car, you going to tase them, or you going to stay in your car, you going to pursue them, or, what are you going to do? The officer was like, no, if somebody shoot at me, I'm going to shoot back. He said, because everybody have a right to live, everybody have a right to defend themselves, and nobody has the right to take your life. And I say over again, I'm sorry that the little boy lost his life, but at the end of the day, when you I want them to stop saying he was murdered and stop saying he was killed and stop saying that this was meant for this little boy. Please teach these young black men that don't know nothing about shooting a gun and aiming a gun that when you shoot a gun, a bullet may go up, but where it come down and where it may fall, we don't know. So nothing is never planned and nothing is never premeditated. Some things really just happen. And this was an incident of something that just occurred.
True. Take your time, baby. Take your time.
Yeah, you got time. You ain't gotta rush it.
Okay, so I called the detective the next day. Matter of fact, it wasn't even the next day. It was the same day when Issa Jihad, I love you, baby. When he went in to the station and I called the detective, I said, sir, you told me that if I found out what happened, that my son wouldn't be charged with murder because he was driving. So basically, he took everything that I had and everything that I gave him. Like, it wasn't his pen that wrote the paperwork. It wasn't his legs that did the leg work. It wasn't anything by his own. It was me and my text messages that I can prove and my information that I can give. The love of Issa Jihad that he have for Jahir. And reference, they had everything to really not charge my son with murder. But guess what happened? I think it was the same night and the next day they put my son on TV for murder. Murder, without an investigation, without proof, without anything. You done killed my son's character. He had a whole job working at Sanderson's farm. Like, my son was making $14 an hour. Like, you labeled him as a murderer and he hadn't killed nobody. You said that when you came to my house that you knew he was just driving, and then you have a picture of my son in the truck driving. So why are we at this point that we're at now?
Well, see, the cops dealing with them, they trying to get convictions. They do not care. They will lie to you. They will tell you whatever they need to do
Right.
to try to get convictions. They don't care
Right.
if he was driving, not the driver. They gonna get a conviction.
Right.
And if you gonna help them, even though you didn't know you was helping them, you
Right.
thought you was getting your son.
But see, that's the thing. I know my son's not a murderer and my
Right.
son is not a killer.
Right.
My son just came out of high school. My son has a whole baby that's 5 months old. Like, since my son been locked up since December the 2nd, my son done lost his job. He done missed the birth of his first daughter. My son done turned 21 in there. My son done missed Father's Day, and the world's still going on. And what's so sad is because I have gave Rocky Mount Police Department, not only Rocky Mount Police Department, I have gave the lawyers and who's on my son's case. I done gave them videos to clear my son. I done gave them text messages to clear my son. They got a whole school video to clear my son. But because my son, what they say, oh, it's the rap. We can't say names, but this is what you got in your high power police
A rap song?
Rap. The kids are the way they are because of the rap that they're listening to.
No, he didn't say that.
I'm saying with a sergeant
A
supervisor
rap.
in the Rocky Mount Police Department.
Hold on, sister.
A rap.
I'm offended now because young black men as myself came off of hip hop. Hip hop is our culture. Now, when you take and use our culture and talk about this is why the black generation is shooting each other because of rap music.
Because of rap.
You're not a scientist. You're not a philosopher. You're not a professor. But you're using your own stigma to put that on us. You need to be fired. You need to be fired. Because now it seems like you racist. And I don't use that word because you targeting the black community now. Now, I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to get in it yet, but I'm going to ask about where's the NAACP at when he coming out of his mouth like that.
Man.
Okay.
You wait for that.
Well, you want to know about the NAACP.
Go ahead with your story.
And when I'm going to get back to that, but I just got to say this first. We're going to hold on. I'm going to come back to that. But
Yeah.
this is what I want to talk about. We run around every, what is it, 5 years for election?
4 years.
4-year election time. And they're hollering, go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. Everybody on the NAACP, I voted for you. You're in the seat because of our votes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This happened to my son on December the 2nd. When I called the police department and they changed their whole story around on December the 3rd, I went to the NAACP. I got an application and I filled it out. It took them forever and ever and ever. I mean, I kept calling. I mean, they had gave me so many numbers that it was ridiculous till finally somebody returned my call.
Was it weeks, months?
Weeks, months. First it started off as days, then it turned into weeks, and then it turned into a little over a month. I guess because I kept calling and I was so persistent.
That's right.
That's right. You're a black woman. You're supposed to be persistent.
So, and this going on, I took them my police report, and I wrote them a letter letting them know that my son, you know, he was just driving, and you know, I can understand if you pick my son up and you is you know, and I can't even say charge him for driving because you can go where you want to go. And this another thing I want to throw out there too. I'm sick of saying people are guilty by association. That's one word y'all need to get together. If you have black boys and you a black mom, and get them to throw out that guilty by association. Because let me tell you something, I'm sitting next to these two men right here. But bang, bang, bang. Guess what I did? I run off. Guess who gonna get locked up? These two. Because they're gonna assume that these two was with me when they probably didn't even know that I was gonna do that. How do you charge everybody with the same crime that one person did? That is so unfair. That is so unfair. That's not agreeable, and I don't agree with it because I could be with somebody and it could be the same situation as my son. And Lord forgive me, I still say free them because at the end of the day, you have a right to live out here. And then, this is what I want to say about Rocky Mount. How many murders is it?
About 50, almost 60 murders.
Almost 60 murders.
Unsolved murders.
Somebody's getting killed every week. We're losing our young black men. I mean, I ask them the numbers. It's crazy. The kids here are out of control. Everybody has a gun. And the reason, I'm going to tell you right now, the Rocky Mount Police Department do not want to deal with them because they're 14 and they're 15 years old. And if they're 16 years old, maybe so. But they don't want to put in the leg work to go chase them. And then they know that it's going to go through juvenile court. So it's really no effort and really cracking down on these kids for the things that they're out here doing. And that's really sad because really just giving them a pat on the hand and telling them that what they're doing is okay because they're of of young age, but they are the ones that's the problem. And Rocky Mountain is bad when you can't say names, but I went to a police officer and I was talking to him. And this man said, I will help you. I know about this, such and such, so and so. So I see the man again, and he said, oh, well, I was told not to talk to you. I was told not to help you. I was told to let the detectives do the work. I said, how long now? I done talked to 3 police officers, got names, numbers, and badges who told me that they know of my son is a good boy, they know of these kids, they know of the problems, but yet instead of them getting with the detective and they can go together and help me, they tell their own officers not to get involved, not to help me. What kind of police? What kind of system?
It sounds like it's coming from upstairs, like they already want to send him away.
Yes.
And it's coming from upstairs. He's going to jail. And you better not get involved, or you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You're gonna
get fired.
Fired.
And you know what they keep telling me? Stop going to the NAACP. This why
they not going to help you.
Yes, they said stop going to the NAACP. Stop talking. Stop. Look, let me tell y'all something in case y'all don't know about Rocky Mountain. The lawyers and the judges and the DAs, everybody friends. If they want to go play golf, eat coffee, kick donuts, whatever, if you their friends and you tied in with them, then you good to go. And they said we can't say names, but they want to holler out guilty by association. Can I say what I want to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey.
What I want to say is y'all want to say about talk about guilty by association. Well, why is it that a judge can't be locked up, or why can't a judge be arrested for guilty by association? Because I know of a whole area where I just had to move from, because it's like we in New York, we up all night. People walking, if they ain't walking, they trying to break in your house. If they ain't trying to break in your house, it's smoking crack, prostitution, it's a party, like it's a whole party. But that is the judge's property. This is the judge's houses. The judge have a whole tenant. That's the landlord of the other 4, but the apartments is off the chain. And I told him, I said, I got videos, I got transactions, I got pictures of the judge, I got pictures of the judge tag, I got pictures of the judge standing out there while all this is going on. I even got a picture of the judge with a crackhead waiting to get the crack. The judge drive off, and he go to crackhead get the crack, and he drive off behind the judge. This the judge now, but you want to say guilty about something? Ain't this maintaining, leasing, and dwelling of a crack house? Isn't it this is yours, but you don't like that? That's because it's really not your problem. It's not your problem because you're at home, you're minding your business, and you're not over there. That's why I said stop saying guilty by association, because if it's guilty by association, then they need to go pick the judge up and lock him up for all this drug activity. The reason why that one little area is off the chain, because if you tear down the 4 apartments in that one little area, guess what? That area wouldn't be like that. And guess who property it is? The judge property. Wow. That's who property it is.
You might even report him to the bar association.
And that's next.
They'll do something.
That's next.
They'll do something.
That's next.
And he said he got all that going on and he's judging people.
That's next. And then, and let me tell you why I have a problem also with this judge. Because when my son went to court, he had a reasonable bond where I could touch him and get him out. He goes before this judge, and the judge says, well, what's the bond of the other man that's locked up? Now, I love you, Ilsa. No disrespect. But my baby bond is $100,000 cash. $100,000 cash. $500,000 something and $400,000 something. That is for other charges. Matter of fact, not being funny, to put robbing fish tables. This is what this charge is for. So the judge turns around and says, well, Jahir Bun is $100,000 and $500,000. But before this even occurred, they said, he called me to the front. Lies was just told on me. He said, Miss Bax, come to the front. I go to the front of the courtroom. When I look at him, I said, can I speak? You know, he said, no, I was going to speak and tell him you might not want to do what you about to do, because I personally know you. I stay behind you. I talk to you, and I started to take a selfie with him when I was near him last time, but I let him go on about his business. I let him warn his tenant of me coming after him about the drug activity and the prostitution and everything that was going on, because the person said, I'm gonna make sure ain't no trouble gonna be over here. I got this judge, I got this, ain't no, but why would you tell the judge ain't no problem gonna be over here and you got this and ain't no trouble gonna come? Why would you tell the judge? What did the judge say to you? Okay. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Wow.
Fairness would be, if you a judge, you give my son a bun off your own thoughts, off your own settings of what you feel like he's supposed to have. You don't never go in a courtroom as a judge and give a man another bun off somebody else's bun, and you ain't even look to the background or researched or why that man bun was that high. But back to the NAACP, come tell you, they ain't for us. Anybody on Rocky Mountain NAACP, they are not for us. Okay, when I finally did get in contact with somebody, they took me to the chief of police. At this time, this man was like, he know about the kids.
Was he a pastor?
No. He wasn't a pastor. They got rid of him when he told me he was going to help me, though. I know that.
Oh.
I'm in there with the NAACP and the chief of police, and I'm going to help you. We know these kids is a problem. We know your son didn't kill nobody. Next thing I know, I go back and ask for the man. The man don't work here no more. And I was like, the chief.
Yeah.
I said, well, how is it that the chief don't work? But the chief the one told me that he was going to help me. And the reason for my son being in jail now was supposed to be for safekeeping. And I said, well, when is it the law that you hold somebody for their safety? Like, I never knew that that's the case. I said, if anybody feel unsafe or you feel like somebody gonna do something to you, go to jail, go to the police department, because they said they gonna hold you in jail for your safety, so won't nobody do nothing to you.
Can't trust the cops.
I never heard that before. So when I went to go back to talk to the chief, okay, of course he no longer worked there.
Wow.
So I get a letter from the NAACP and it says, we can't help you.
They can't help you.
Read it. You got to love
Oh,
it.
no.
I didn't bring the letter.
What did they say?
They can't help you. What you mean?
They said they was sorry to inform me, but they couldn't help me that this was a police investigation. This is a police matter. They told me that they couldn't help me, but I found out that they was over the police department. So how is it that the NAACP couldn't help me? But let me tell you something. I didn't know that the judge was on the NAACP, so the judge already know about my son's case, which is a conflict of interest.
So he's a member of the
Right,
NAACP.
right, and I've also had a member from the NAACP with pastor says, this is what the pastor said.
Preach.
The pastor said, ain't no need to worry the new chief with what's going on and what, because the new chief don't care about us either. The new chief don't care about us, he don't care what's going on, and he's not for us. And I have that in the text message. And what I sent the pastor back, pray for me, Lord, is that I don't know what the new chief care about, but I'm a black mom who's fighting for my son.
Exactly.
My son just came out of high school. He graduated with all honors. He just turned 21. Like, I care about my son's life. Like, this is what I care about, life and proving his innocence. And I really took that some type of way because the man hadn't even took his seat yet. He ain't even got in here yet. And you already telling me that the man is not for us and he don't care about us. And that's why I keep saying, what is for us and care about us? Because I done had a detective say, well, I'll be glad when y'all stop killing each other. Y'all stop doing what y'all doing. I'm tired of your people. I'm tired of your kind.
Hold on. I want to know. I don't want to know his name because I don't want to go off on this video. But was he white or black?
He was white.
Oh my God.
And every conversation is boy this, boy that, well, why that boy and that boy and that boy. Wow. I said, so let me tell you something.
So where's these fake ass city council members who always preaching race?
Your race? Where they at on this?
Where they at? When he called, when he was talking to her, when he was saying boy this, boy that, and your people, you fake ass city council members who always preaching race, where y'all at?
And another thing, where is the black men's at? You got a sister here crying for her son. Where's the black men's at? What, like the city council, when y'all gonna stand up and go against y'all own people? The reason why you ain't gonna do it, because you sit on both words. You sit on the city council, you sit at the NAACP, you sit on the police department, you run all of that. So you don't want to have a conflict of interest, have no problem on that side. Get your ass out of them seats.
Get out of there.
And I'm telling you, from my experience, like, since it's been going on December the 2nd, I haven't received no help from nobody. I had one NWAC man,
Right.
you know what I'm trying to say, come out to help me and assist me. And when he came out, you know, I appreciated him for that. I did. But like I told him, I called and I said, well, get me a meeting with the chief of police. Why do we have to go talk to my son's lawyer? Like, why? Why? I said I want to talk to the chief of police. I didn't say I wanted to talk. I'm already talking to my son's lawyer. But why I'm really like having so much of a problem with this is because the first person that came out that had on the body camera said that my son was driving. And he know my son wasn't the shooter because of the position of the truck and the way my truck was sitting. The reason why I have a problem with the police department because you already wrote your paper out and it said murder. You never went to change it. You never went to adjust. Matter of fact, I wasn't even supposed to step foot in the police department with me and my son just getting in there and you already got your paperwork wrote up as murder. That's because you wrote it, you wanted it to stick, and you refused to change it.
And you already convicted him
And
before he went to court.
Right.
It's now it's supposed to you prove it to what is
Innocent
it?
until proven guilty.
Now you guilty till you prove innocent.
Right.
That's the new law for the
Yes.
black people.
For Rocky Mount Police Department. For Rocky Mount Police Department.
Well,
For Rocky, and then they came and got my truck. They went up there, put on the police report that I hid my truck in the backyard. My truck was hid, parked in the back. My house is to the street, to the side. My truck was on the carport, and I never hid my truck. And what I'm trying to say is, in reference to the police, if you're gonna build your case upon the truth. But don't take this whole piece of paper and it's full of lies and this what you got signed off of. And then when they go to court, every bond hearing that I have been to is nothing of what they're saying. It's what I'm coming at them with. It's what I'm asking them. And like I told them, I said the reason why I'm so upset about my son being locked up because the Rocky Mount Police Department didn't have anything. They didn't have nothing.
what she had for evidence, she gave the Rocky Mount Police the evidence like this. They get the evidence and said, we're going to help your son and turn around and try to convict her son with the evidence she gave. What kind of police department do that?
That's how they roll,
it's not but all the police departments I ever know, they do their own, they get their own evidence.
Right.
They don't get it from nobody. So
Right.
that goes to show the police department in Rocky Mount ain't doing no
And
job,
then
they
the police,
research,
they were
and
about
none of that.
crime, but let me tell you what the police told me. To let my son out. They want my son to tell on his friend or whoever was in my truck, and then they'll cut him and let him come out. For one, I don't know if the police, who gave them their degree or certificate in there, but my son don't have to tell on a person that already done walked in your station and told on himself. See, this why the kids are out here killing each other. Because the police want to turn one friend against the other friend. Then when they turn against each other, then you got the shooting and you got the killing and you got the problems going on. But Rocky Mount Police Department sitting up there trying to hide behind, like they not telling these kids to snitch on each other. Like they not telling these kids to set each other up. The Rocky Mount Police Department, you go get your paperwork, they got all your address up there. They got all your information up there. I mean, how do you take and do a person life like that? Like, why would you want my son to turn against his friend knowing y'all so nasty and crooked and dirty? Whatever time you get one, you gonna get the other. You just think that we're not smart enough to put that together to know that.
They are going by the 1994 crime bill when Joe Biden said we are roaches. We infest the whole school system. You Democrats, y'all the ones that are behind everything that's going on in this city because y'all allowing these kids to do all this stuff and you're allowing the police department get our kids and throw them in and like she said.
Lock them up.
one kid shoots somebody in a car, you find a gun, you get everybody black a charge in the car, you mess the kid up for the rest of his life because he got a felony.
Right.
Well, that's because he's black.
Because he's black. But the thing with that, you don't have the NAACP coming nowhere fighting for our kids. But we vote these people in. They people supposed to be for us. But I'm telling people, get off your ass and don't vote for these people no more. And this is what's going on in your city, and they're not for us.
The cops are not your friend.
They're not.
Even if you didn't have nothing to do with it, the cops are not your friend.
They're not.
You cannot go to them and think they're gonna, be
they
fair.
Yep.
This ain't court TV.
Yep. That's
They
what
do
they
that
told me.
stuff on TV. When you go to holler at these cops about some shit excuse my French, that you're involved with, or on the sideline that you witnessed, mind your business, because these cops are not your friend. And if you black, you getting thrown in the mix, and they not gonna help you. Even though they will sit there and say they gonna help you, they not gonna help you.